What's up, guys? It's your boy Blackrue. Before we get into this Q Indigo Saint, let's get it. Indigo Saint in the building. Blackrue investing. Let's go.
Who's this producer?
Best believe I was black or invested. With your money, you ain't gotta be guessing. Profits is what we manifested. So we binge on a black or invested. Best believe I was black or invested. Got course in this race, we ain't resting. We got stocks, we got crypto with a blessing. So thank God for that black or invested. Best believe I was black or invested.
My man Indigo. We'll go just straight to the video here so I don't forget. I did not think that I would see this. Okay. The guys at Bankless had an interview with Bitboy. Now, if you remember what happened, one of the Bankless guys just basically said, Bitboy doesn't represent us. In reaction to Sam Bankman-Fried's plan for crypto, let's just put it that way. Sam Bankman-Fried proposed some plans that were not good for crypto, that would just basically take the U.S. out of the whole crypto race, being that it would make crypto basically the same as banks, really. It would have this stringent like KYC process. It would ruin the whole decentralization of crypto and basically put it in the hands of bankers and like big tax like corporate VC people, okay? Which some people would enjoy that. Most of us regular people would not enjoy that because when you get all of those regulators in, when you get all of those like KYC type of restrictions and accredited type stuff in the doors, it just limits us from having a piece of the pie, really. And that was what Sam Bankman-Fried was suggesting. And then some comments were made by one of the Bankless guys. I think his name is Ryan Adams or Ryan Sean Adams. And Bitboy kind of just went off. And he was like, oh, this guy's a suit. He's an elite. You know, if 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 anybody isn't for the people, I'm for the people. And they got together to kind of clarify this. And the Bankless dudes, they did not back down. They really didn't back down. Um, Let me see if we got who we got in the crowd over here. If we got anybody, that's okay. If we don't, I'm just gonna do this live and then post it so everyone can see. So all right. So I was checking this out and I saw one of my guys, Strictly Sports. Shout out to Strictly Sports. He was in the meeting. He was in the live stream. I saw him make some comments over there. Shout out to him. Let me close some of these windows down, y'all. And let's let's see what this is all about because I think they make some very good points on both sides. Um, but what I was really left with was, you know, Bitboy, you just can't escape that past, man. The way you kind of make it out is like, oh, okay, I was just growing, and people do it all the time. I made a few mistakes, and hopefully you do get that redemption. I'm all for people having second chances, but you don't just get to run away from that past, man. But yeah, so very interesting. These Bankless guys, the colors of their logo are black, white, and red. Those are also the same colors that the Knights Templar used. I am very curious if they chose those for a reason or if not. Sounds a little occult to me, but that's a story for Rockfin. which, by the way, definitely, guys, check me out on Rockfin. Let this load up. Rockfin's an alternative platform where like they don't censor. They don't censor as much as YouTube. They really don't censor at all. There's only certain things that you can't say. Like the only thing that I can know, like that I can think of, you can't really say on this platform is anything anti-Semitic. Other than that, you're pretty good to say almost anything else you want. And there's that whole debate over what's anti-Semitic and what's not, right? Speaking of that whole debate, definitely come over here on my channel on Rockfin. It's at Blackrue, and I have some thoughts where I broke down the whole Kanye and Lex interview, and if I think what he was saying was anti-Semitic or not. There's a two-part of the interview of my breakdown. There's honestly going to be a third because I need to break down 360 contracts. It's very crazy about the 360 contract. It really breaks down how like you really think rappers are like into like deals, and it's like, okay, if you got a bad deal, just go get a better deal or negotiate better. But if everyone's doing these 360 contracts, and you can't afford distribution. The game's a little bit different now because people don't have to distribute CDs, but still, but that's a whole nother entire subject. Sorry about that. But let's get on to, definitely check me out, Rockfin. Let's get on to Bitboy over here and Bitboy and Bankless. And if you guys have any questions, we may have time to address those at the end. I'm just going to skip to the part where they talk about Bitboy's rant. And let's make sure the volume is up. Ski. It is. And is it up over here? It is not. Now it is. Max screen. Let's do it. Okay.
Yes, a dude in a sports jacket with glass.
Okay. I got a little bit too far in the rant. We got to go back further. Right here. That seems like a good spot. And it's spooling. So very sorry.
By the way, sorry, rant. I don't know if that's what you'd call it. But,
Rant's fine. No,
okay,
that's what they call it in the chat. The rant.
It was a rant. Okay, so it was a rant, and this is what it was. I think most people listening to this probably saw this video, including me. I was really surprised to see it the next day, and then he tweeted out, "It has to be said, the suits have taken over crypto." No denying that, Ben.
Damn, he saw.
And I won't stand for it. F Bankless, F Ryan S. Adams, F the horse they rode in on. We stand for the people, not the elite, not the lawyers, not the billionaires. One thing is for sure, I definitely don't represent douches. It was really, so this rant about like Bankless, about me, was this like spur of the moment? Because it kind of looked like in this rant, you just like scrolled up on my profile. Yeah.
Now let me stop right here. It seems spur of the moment. Because if you really listen to what was going on, and I had a video on this, we talked about this, but if you really listen to what Ryan S. Adams, what he wrote, he was saying that he also does not agree with what Sam Bankman-Fried, or what I saw somebody put before in a comment, Sam Bankman-Greed. I thought that was just hilarious. Sam Bankman-Greed. So... Sam Bankman-Fried wrote in in his proposed changes for crypto law, Ryan S. Adams does not agree as well. So both Bitboy and Ryan S. Adams don't agree. But Bitboy was so in his feelings that he just wrote what he wrote. He didn't even see that Ryan S. Adams was like, I don't agree with Sam either, but I think the whole thing where like Bitboy kind of got dragged in was because people think that Bitboy represents crypto. He's like the man of the people for crypto. And there's some people like Bankless who don't agree with that sentiment. And the reason they don't agree with that sentiment is because Bitboy he has a past where it seems some of the things he's done, like they may not be legally, they may not be illegal, but they seem morally not okay. Um, it seems morally like he dumped on his viewers. Like there are countless number of projects, there are countless number of YouTube people who have spoken on it, of putting it out in the open. He's tried to sue different people for saying stuff about him. Recently, he's tried to sue a guy, Atasi, and people like donated like 200K to him to fight Bitboy, and Bitboy dropped the suit because, as he says, quote unquote, the money came in on his side. So really, he was just trying to bully that guy. And the guy gave back all the money after Bitboy dropped it. You know, it's like, thank you to everyone. So Bitboy has a moral past that is just sketchy. So that's why Bankless and many other people have said, nah, Bitboy doesn't represent all of crypto. Don't get that part twisted, as people say. But Ryan's right to say, okay, it seems like you just did a spur of the moment, because if you would have read what I wrote, I don't agree with Sam either. But you lumped me in with Sam, even though I don't agree with him. And that's what he's going to get into.
A dude in a sports jacket with glasses on, and you were just like, yeah, F this dude in particular. Was this like, where did this come from? Was this spur of the moment? Like, why did you say this? I was left very confused about the whole encounter.
Well, first and foremost, people know I get hot. I get heated over stuff. That's just how I'm built. And why is that? Because I'm super extremely passionate about things. And so what got me really riled up was, that's the first night me and SPF got into a little argument over, basically them trying to steal some of our political backers out from under us. And,
So this is pretty interesting. This is pretty interesting. This kind of really does explain why Bitboy's hot, and he's going to get into it a little bit later, and we'll go over that. He gets into it, I believe, with like it's either the disclosures part or changing in crypto, because it seems like Sam Bankman-Fried tried to take one of his political contacts in the bill that he's trying to get passed for crypto. So it seems like Bitboy is working on an actual legal amendment to get things passed in crypto, in his words, to help the people. And clearly, both Bitboy and Ryan S. Adams agree that Sam Bankman-Fried's stuff that he's trying to do for crypto would not benefit people, would not benefit the U.S., would only benefit the banksters and the big old money, old regime, right? It would not benefit us regular people. It wouldn't. It just wouldn't. So it seems like, and no one knows about what exactly is going on in Bitboy's bill. He just brought it up in his rant, but none of us really know anything about it. So, he'll go on a little bit more about it, but it seems like Sam Bankman-Fried did some like shady stuff to try to steal Bitboy's political contact that was working on a bill for Bitboy. Okay, and what Bitboy deems will be good for the people. But let's go on.
all of a sudden, you have this tweet where you say, you know, Bitboy does not represent crypto.
I'm gonna
These
show
are
the
the
tweet.
people.
That's
What's
what
that?
I said.
Yeah,
I'll show
yeah.
the tweet. That's what I said.
Please, dear Lord, and any lawmakers or adults reading this tweet, just know Bitboy doesn't represent us either. Talk to Jay Chervinsky of the Blockchain Association, DCG ties. Talk to Miller, CWL. Don't know anything.
My man just laughed in his face. That's kind of cold-blooded. That's kind of cold-blooded. That's kind of cold-blooded. That Ryan just laughed in his face like that. That's a little cold-blooded. Bitboy's handling that pretty cool, because I would have been a little hot too. And my man just laughed in my face reading the tweet that already pissed me off. I would have been a little hot about that. But that's cold-blooded. We're going to move on from that, though.
Anything about them. Talk to Coin Center. They're fine people. Which, you know, that's no shade at Jay Chervinsky. I don't know him personally. Blockchain Association doing some good
They're
stuff.
great, by the way. Jake is fantastic.
I'm sure.
Miller works at the DeFi fund, doing fantastic work in DC. And I'm kind of surprised you actually don't know about these people. I know you're doing a lot of
we
work.
call them personal heroes.
I'm
Yeah.
Well, I know Jay Chervinsky, and I know Coin Center. I just didn't know Miller, CWL.
All right, so you saw this tweet,
Right.
and then what happened?
Well, I was offended. I mean, because the fact is, I do represent crypto. I represent the average person in crypto. If you look at the statistics, I actually did a poll, which is not scientific, but I did a poll on Twitter, which you would think would skew harder to Twitter. And 70% of the people that answered that poll said the first place they went to learn about crypto was YouTube. My channel is the mainstream YouTube channel. It is the gateway through which the majority of people, at least in the last bull run, came into crypto. Now, certainly.
Now, he's not wrong in what he's saying right there. Most people, their first kind of intro to crypto is Bitboy. Because if you're looking on YouTube, they're going to automatically recommend the person who has the most followers, the most this, the most that. As a matter of fact, I think when I was first looking into crypto, Bitboy might have been one of the first videos that I saw. But you graduate. You see, I think I saw Bitboy, Aleo Trades, and Alex Becker, and Journey Crypto. Those were the first 4 people that I seen. Yes. And then you get to learn after a while, or at least back then, I think it was, when did I get? 2018, 2019, something like that. But then you graduate and you see, okay, Bitboy's doing some stuff and just kind of dropping it on you. Like he's saying, okay, this is gonna 100x, and you find out, oh, he has private tokens here. He had tokens before anybody else had tokens. Oh, it's gonna go, it's going down. What's happening? And you find out, okay, he had private tokens. He dumped it on you. He sponsored the project. And Alex Becker has been kind of implicated in stuff like that before, but he also seems like he wants to reform and try to do stuff better. And Crypto Banter has been implicated. He's one of the big channels on that too. But it's kind of shady morally, because it seems like he might have his stuff buttoned up as far as the legal side goes. But morally, it's shady as F. It's so shady. So that's why the Bankless guys are like, okay, look, you just don't represent me. But he's not wrong for saying that most people had their first get in on crypto thanks to and due to his channel. Now, I would say though, does he represent crypto as a whole? No. And I would also say that there's a lot of people, in my opinion, that do from the research side, do a way better job than Bitboy. But honestly, I respect the man's grind. I do respect that. I respect he was out here for a long time doing this whole crypto thing. Other than Zay and King, shout out to Gentlemen of Crypto, which I do a show on. They might have been the only people out here longer than him because they're their longest running show in crypto. Um, yeah, but he's not wrong in saying that he might be the first example that people run into. Um, However, sometimes I think too that Big Boy lets that go to his head quite a bit, and he's a little bit. He has a hubris, pride, um, when it comes to that he really flaunts a very lot, and it rubs some people the wrong way. But let's continue to listen to what he's gonna say here. Let me go back a couple seconds.
which you would think would skew harder to Twitter. And 70% of the people that answer that poll said the first place they went to learn about crypto was YouTube. My channel is the mainstream YouTube channel. It is the gateway through which the majority of people, at least in the last bull run, came into crypto. Now, certainly, I don't end up being everybody's cup of tea. And some people ended up wanting to get more into trading. They want to get more into mining. They want to get more into, maybe they just like someone that has a different disposition. So someone that doesn't do hour and a half live streams every day. Maybe they want their stuff more concise. Look, there's plenty of great YouTubers out there for people to watch. But I'm the doorway. And so many people come in, and I'm great with that. If people come in through my channel, but then they end up somewhere else, the point for me is I love the fact that I bring people into crypto. I was at a conference a couple weeks ago, and the guy who organized it, the guy who
And again, like I respect Big Boy for his grind, but sometimes I really think that goes a little bit to his head, Like I'm the gateway, and like it seems to be that it goes a little bit to his head. And there's nothing wrong with that if you want to peacock and I'm the top game a little bit, but I think with him it really hurts him sometimes. The pride, it hurts. I don't think it helps his brand. I think it hurts his brand sometimes. But let's continue.
organized the entire conference, Expoverse, he came up to me and said, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't even be into crypto. And now there's a giant conference going on. I met with a woman from IOG who works, under Charles. Well, I guess he is the head of IOG technically. But she came up to me at Rare Bloom and said, hey, I got into crypto through your channel, and now look at this. I'm working at IOG. It's so cool. So I know that we are the doorway through a lot of people that people come into the space. And
the way he's saying this, it even comes off prideful. If he were to say, I'm very proud, I go up to people and they tell me that I'm the first way that they got into crypto, and I take a lot of pride in that, and I try to make it so that I'm giving these people the best entry into crypto. I'm trying to make sure that I'm making crypto the best type of experience for them. Like, the way that it comes off is pride, and the way that I said it is not prideful. And I don't know what the difference is there, but it comes off sometimes, and I think that's what rubs certain people the wrong way about Bitboy. He seems comfortable with it though, but yeah, moving on.
Say that I don't represent people. Yes, I don't represent the suits. I don't represent, people that have, 74 degrees, whether it's in financial management or whether it's in law or whatever it might be. But I do represent the average person, and no person on planet Earth has educated more people about crypto than I have. That's just a fact. If you look at our number of the
And see, it's that. Like, okay, I represent the average person. No person has educated most people in crypto than I have, and that's just a fact. And it might be a fact, but it brings so much of pride. you could say that same sentence and be like, okay, you know what? I might have educated the most people in crypto, and I take a big honor in that, and I take a huge responsibility with that, and that means a lot to me. So when you say that, I don't represent or please, dear Lord, I really take that personally because every day my goal and my purpose is to help people with crypto. Um, but instead, he puts up the numbers. Like it's so much of a hubris with that, so much of a pride with that, and so much of a almost like entitlement with that, where it's like it's off-putting. It's almost like, okay, I'd rather not even deal with you if you're that prideful. Like, oh, what, like the, it's why like people like despise elitists, like the same elitists that he doesn't like. But but again, he seems comfortable with it. Let's just move on.
News, we dwarf everyone, at least in the United States for sure. Obviously, Coin Bureau in the UK, I think he just moved to Dubai. He does a good job. His channel's outgrown ours. They have a different, kind of a different kind of thing they do. They do longer videos, but less videos per week and things like that.
Coin Bureau was another one that I got introduced to. I like Coin Bureau a lot. No disrespect or slight to Bitboy, but Coin Bureau will just lay out the information for you. He does a good job covering different news things and crypto as well. And there's not the same like pride factor there. That's actually a really good example of him to bring up is Coin Bureau. And yeah, I think he has more. He's outgrown him, Bitboy, at this moment, and I think there's a reason for that. He gives you more like more substance as far as information goes. It's not. It's just pure information. There's none of the pride. There's none of the hubris. It's just pure information, and a lot of times people like that better. He might give a little bit of his opinion in the video, but it's not something that's like forced. It's like he'll say what he thinks, but it's not like, okay, you better think that way, or like if you get what I'm saying. There's a little bit more hubris with Bitboy's the opinions he gives. But yeah, I like Coin Bureau a whole lot. Let's keep going.
But for us, we really believe that we are, the catalyst for bringing people in and educating people. And certainly, people can point back at things from years ago that weren't done perfectly. Some things that happened, whether it was projects we promoted that didn't do well or did well for a short period and then dropped, or God forbid there was a couple that rug pulled, whatever. People hold that against us from years and years ago. But if you look at the maturation,
and that's the part where with Bitboy it really kind of angers me. That part, it's like he's like just, oh, that little thing that I did a couple years ago, whatever. Some rug pull, some did this, some did that. But it was a few years ago. If he would. And I understand why he might not own it, because legally, I think if he owned it, it might put him in some trouble. So he might have to say it like he's saying it now. Maybe he might have to. However, if he did not have to, what would be refreshing is if he said, I did some things. And I don't even think he can say this. He can't say it because I think it would just put him in legal trouble. I did some things that I wasn't pleased about, thinking that they were helpful and they would be helpful for the community. And it didn't turn out to be that way. Some things rug pulled, some things did this, some things did that. Some rug pulled, some went down some went down in a way that I did not expect, or in a way that could have hurt viewers. And you know what? I take responsibility for that. I personally am sorry for that, and I've made changes so that doesn't happen again on my channel. Something like that. But when you say it like, oh, that was some years ago, whatever, you still on that? You still on that thing, that rug pull that happened years ago? Come on, man. Quit living in the past. That's like, it's like he's almost like, it almost seems like, it's almost like blaming you for what happened to you and your injury. Like, you need to move on from that. That was years ago. But man, look, I ain't getting that money back. So what? It was years ago. It's investing. That's what happens. Like, yeah, like there could be some more humility there, but there doesn't seem to be any, and maybe that's a tact so that he's not in any trouble. But it seems to me like legally, when you listen to the whole interview, it seems to me legally he seems like he's all buttoned up there. Like legally, there's nothing that can happen to him for whatever went on. But morally, this is the penance you have to pay, it seems to me. And he doesn't seem like he's in the mental space to pay the penance for what he did. Like, you gotta face it. You're gonna pay the penance for the things that you did in the past, and people are not gonna overlook that. I mean, I think he should just make his peace with it, but it doesn't seem like he was. It doesn't seem like he is at this point. But moving on.
My channel, if you look at where we're at today, I take that very seriously, that we are the educator in crypto. I'm coming out with a book, Catching Up to Crypto. You can find it on Amazon. Comes out in January. This is going to fill the...
He says he takes it seriously, and then he moves on and pumps his book. See, there's just, it's like, oh, okay, keep going.
Gap between people that come into the space to understand the space. Because you've probably experienced this before. When people watch your podcast, there's a gap between when people come in and what we consider to be a beginner. It would take 60 videos to make that content. In the book, I'm going to try to do that job of filling the gap. So we take it very seriously, and people don't understand all the things we do behind the scenes to try to push crypto adoption and regulation, and trying to make things that are very friendly for the crypto world. And we want to keep decentralization. So to say that I don't represent crypto, like, yes, it triggered me. It definitely triggered me, because I see this kind of comment all the time, and it drives me insane. And then, of course, when I look at the list of people that you have there that you can talk to, like, these are your traditional, your traditional kind of, lawyer and Jake Travinsky. Obviously, like I said, I didn't know Miller CWL, but Coin Center, I know what they are, and I know what they represent. They're buttoned up. Like, for me, it's about representing the person, like the average person that comes into crypto with a dream to change their life. And so, yeah, it made me mad. And when I get angry, I do have a way of verbally assaulting people in a way that it's both a strength and a weakness. It's one of these things where I can defend myself pretty well, and I don't take things lying down. But obviously, should I have made fun of your glasses? Probably not. I do have a suit on in the picture, to be fair.
By the way, there's a T-shirt under that suit, so it's just not. I mean, it's just
I like how the suits are
not
today.
Not today,
no.
skinny guy.
There you go. Not today. No, today is my full banker apparel.
And I like, I like that they came in full banker apparel to just kind of like thumb their nose up at them, and basically he's saying, look, I know some of those dudes. I know these guys are kind of like related to suits, and it seems like the Bankless people are saying, okay, these are the people, these are the actual suits that are working for the people. I think that's why they were pointing these people out. But Bitboy just kind of got in his feelings and saw people that could be suit people and just blew up. But anyway.
Sarah. So, okay, so you're saying that, by the way, I think we'll come back to this, but you're saying, hey, look, Bitboy is a gateway to many people into crypto. I'm helping to lead people in. And by the way,
So let's listen to Ryan's response. So this is the part where Ryan kind of gives his perspective on Bitboy. Interesting.
like Bankless and others, you shouldn't be so dismissive of me, right? And you felt like this tweet was dismissive. Let me tell you my perspective and where I was coming from with this tweet. But and I do want to come back to like with that entry to crypto and the 1.x million number of followers you have on YouTube, subscribers you have on YouTube. What a tremendous amount of responsibility rests in your hands, Bitboy.
Yes.
Like what a tremendous amount of responsibility to make sure people aren't falling.
And this is a communication tactic, and it's very brilliant that he's playing this. Not playing, but this is a communication tactic. In fact, it's actually a therapy tactic as well. Like before you tear someone down, you build them up first. So, so he's employing a tactic that's like to better have someone to receive your information. You build them up first. So he's saying, look, you got 1 million subscribers. You got, you got a heavy responsibility on your shoulders. So I recognize that and I understand it. So he's building them up first, which is a brilliant, and I hate to call it a tactic because it is, and therapists use it, and good communicators use it. I hate to call it a tactic. I hate to because it's effective and it's nice and it's good. It's great. But yes, he's employing this tactic before he tears them down. And by the way, I forget what the name of the tactic is or what the term is, but he's basically building them up first before he destroys him. And he destroys him in the nicest way possible. But okay, I'll just let it play for a second. I'll try not to stop it.
For scams, right? Are going in the direction of like the Do Kwons and the 20% anchor yields. Like you have a tremendous amount of responsibility. We'll get to that a little bit later in this conversation. But I guess here's where I was coming from with this tweet, right? I don't know very much about you, to be honest, Bitboy. Like I did know who you were. I know you didn't know who the FI was, but I knew who you were. But I hadn't subscribed. I'm not listening to the Bitboy crypto channel on the regular basis. Like I'm not down the Bitboy rabbit hole. I just don't know very much about you. My reputation, you're kind of a crypto influencer, sort of attention-seeking individual, and you might have reasons for that. Maybe the reason is to kind of onboard. Also, Zach XBT, which uncovers a lot of scams and frauds in crypto, had sort of a thread. I was familiar with that. I was familiar with your riff, your back and forth with Kobe, where there was like some sort of lawsuit involved. So I hadn't done a deep dive on this. Mm-hmm. And what I was saying here is, if you see my tweet here,
there were 2 lawsuits actually. This Kobe one or Kofi one was one. There was one with a guy, a toThe or something like that he dropped. So he bullies people with his money. So, but anyways, we'll let him finish here.
Which uncovers a lot of scams and frauds in crypto, had sort of a thread. I was familiar with that.
Oh shoot. So again, like I told you before,
in crypto,
people have implicated Bitboy and the pumping and dumping that he does. There are multiple YouTubers that have talked about it. So, but anyways, let's keep going.
That's sort of a thread. I was familiar with that. I was familiar with your riff, your back and forth with Kobe, where there was like some sort of lawsuit involved. So I hadn't done a deep dive on this. Mm-hmm. And what I was saying here is, if you see my tweet here, with SBF put up my current thoughts on crypto regulation. All right, first tweet here. This is what I said before you even replied. Sam, with respect, this absolutely sucks. You're saying DeFi should be OFAC. You're saying on-chain freezes should be normal. You're saying DeFi front ends to register as a broker-dealer. No, this is not reasonable. This would eliminate the U.S. from the crypto.
So, listen to that. On-chain freezes should be normal. You're saying DeFi front ends have to register as a broker-dealer. That would basically cripple, like, decentralization. Cripple it. So let him go on.
Race. Mm-hmm. All right. So the things that you were saying, at least the points I could glean from the rant that kind of resonate with me is like, you are anti Sam's ideas on so-called crypto regulation that would stifle DeFi. Guess what? So am I.
know.
Like,
Yeah.
so am I. And
Yeah.
here I am in the thread
Yeah.
saying that, and you lumped me in with the Devils, SBF, and
You're
Brian
right, I did.
Epstein,
Yeah.
which we can come back to, which was completely factually incorrect.
Yeah, you're
and
right,
honestly, Bitboy, I think you owe me an apology for that. And I'm happy to say I could have phrased this tweet, the other tweet that you're talking about, differently. The tweet where, like, what did I say here? The tweet where I said, don't listen to Bitboy. But let me give you some context for what I'm saying. I don't want lawmakers to listen to SBF, all right?
Right.
And I don't want them to go to the nearest attention-seeking crypto influencer YouTube and get their information from that person either. I want them to get the facts from the people who are on the ground working on the DCCPA in DC, like Jake Travinsky, who cares about our values, Bankless values, who cares about the values you say you care about, Miller as well, from DeFi Fund, Coin Center. These people are the people who are standing up for our rights in DC and actually have...
It'd be interesting to do a type of deep dive on those three people. I don't know those three people, so it'd be interesting to do a deep dive and see, are these people that do represent, because he says they represent Bankless. He was sure to say that first, but then he's like, they also represent the people. So I don't know personally, but this is what Ryan S. Adams is saying. Let's trust but verify. So we'll trust that what he's saying is true, but I will do some research and verify that later.
As well, from DeFi Fund, Coin Center. These people are the people who are standing up for our rights in DC and actually have the funding and have the ears of lawmakers. I want lawmakers to go to them. No disrespect. I don't want lawmakers to see that the rate you put out because they think we're crazy when we do that, all right? It sets our cause back. I don't want them to listen to SBF, but to be honest, Bitboy, I don't want them to listen to you either. I don't even necessarily want them to listen to Bankless, okay? So that's where the tweet is coming from. I'm trying to redirect. Look, your game is attention. I get it. That's why you said, back in grade school, you put on the glasses for attention. You have a YouTube channel for attention, okay? And you're good at it because you're good at getting attention. By the way, this rant got a lot of attention. I think, you were trending on Twitter.
Like 3 days, yeah.
My point is, this is not where serious lawmakers should actually go. And you're saying in your rant that you're working behind...
That was a very flawless victory right there he put together. So you would want the lawmakers to go to someone who has an ends and the funding and stuff in like DC, in lawmaking town, to get this done, right? To get done laws for the people. You would want them to go to the people. If these are the people who do that, you would want them to go there. You wouldn't necessarily want them to get it from a crypto attention seeker, which Bitboy kind of copped to being earlier in the interview. Definitely come over to Bankless's channel and check out the entire interview. We're only going to go over certain excerpts of it. Certain experts, my God. We're only going to do certain excerpts of it. So I agree with what Ryan is saying right there. I agree with that. I agree with that. Now let's listen to the rest of what he's saying there. That was a flawless victory. If I had the soundboard up and running right now, and I had the sound, I would play like perfect, just right there. That would be played.
On the DCCPA in DC, like Jake Travinsky, who cares about our values, Bankless values, who cares about the values you say you care about, Miller as well, from DeFi Fund, Coin Center. These people are the people who are standing up for our rights in DC and actually have the funding and have the ears of lawmakers. I want lawmakers to go to them. No disrespect. I don't want lawmakers to see that the rate you put out because they think we're crazy when we do that, all right? It sets our cause back. I don't want them to listen to SBF, but to be honest, Bitboy, I don't want them to listen to you either. I don't even necessarily want them to listen to Bankless, okay? So that's where the tweet is coming from. I'm trying to redirect. Look, your game is attention. I get it. That's why You said, back in grade school, you put on the glasses for attention. You have a YouTube channel for attention, okay? And you're good at it because you're good at getting attention. By the way, this rank got a lot of attention. I think you were trending on Twitter.
Like 3 days, yeah.
My point is,
and he knows that he was trending for 3 days. And this shows really attention means a lot to him. And I think Gary Vee had this quote where it's I wish I could make people understand. Attention is next to breathing air for me. Attention is so important. And it is, pause, but attention being important, also you have to have the right type of attention. You have to say the right type of things. Any news is good news, or even bad news is good news, or something like that. I forget. I'm messing up the phrase, but he said it. Rants like that make you look foolish to lawmakers. Not him personally, but just rants like that when a grown lawmaking man is looking at that's okay, you can't even handle your emotions, dude. How am I gonna trust what you have to say? That's how I would feel someone would say that. I wouldn't necessarily say that, but some people would say, hey, you can't even handle your emotions. Why would I listen to you? So Ryan's really making some great points here, and he is not at all backing down. Of course, this is his platform too. That Bitboy's on enemy ground here, pretty much, because this is the Bankless platform that he's on. But let's continue.
this is not where serious lawmakers should actually go. And you're saying in your rant that you're working behind the scenes and you've got legislation coming up. I've talked to these people. They don't know anything about what you're talking about. Like, who are you working with in DC? Like, there's some things that are factually, like, just not resonating.
Well, I sent you guys an email last night, and you didn't get it, and it has all the information. I want you guys to come with that information so that you guys will see exactly what I'm doing, and it's not smoke. Like, it really is. We are working. We have high-level politicians on both sides of the aisle, and what we're working on is a bill, and the goal for this bill is now to become an amendment onto the Boozman bill. So because of that, like, yes, if they're working on the specific language of the bill, we're not to that stage yet, because this has to run through a process where it gets tweaked down to an amendment. And now, look, here's okay. Number one, sure, I'm sorry that I said that. I apologize. I can certainly be a bigger man. Apologize. Obviously, you know, I make fun of Sam Bankman-Fried's hair. I make fun of your glasses. Like, I tend to focus on things that really don't matter. But really, what that is just me trying to manifest the way I'm feeling about you, and that's the way that it comes off. And to me, it was a very
That's cool. The way he said that was me trying to manifest the way that I was feeling about you, and that's how it came off. That was a very eloquent way of saying that. I do have a problem with him saying the bigger man and apologize, because that now puts him in a position where it's like, okay, I'm better than you because now I'm apologizing. I'm the bigger man by apologizing, and I never realized that by that phrase, but it does now put you in a position like, okay, I'm better than you because I'm being the bigger man. I apologize. I never realized that about that phrase until this exact moment. But like, and by saying that, it would have been great if he just had did not use the bigger man comment and just said, okay, you know what? Yeah, it was wrong for me to say that. But he did say at the end, and it was very eloquent, that, you know, this was me manifesting the way that I was feeling about you, and that wasn't right. Let's continue.
elitist thing to say that I don't know what I'm talking about when, number one, you don't watch my channel, and you.
Okay, and he goes into this, but I am concerned though, if none of the people that Ryan mentioned know anything about Bitboy's bill, doesn't mean that he still doesn't have pull or power, and he says he has politicians on both sides of the aisle working on this. take him at his word for that. But it is a little concerning that the people down there who should know don't know. But Bitboy gets into some more stuff about the bill a little bit later. But now he kind of gets into a little pissing match, so to speak, by saying, okay, but you don't watch my channel and commenting on me. Honestly, seriously, I watch a bit of his channel, and the rumors that Ryan understands do seem like, that they fit Bitboy. They just do. It's if Ryan were to watch his channel right now, and he's cleaned up a lot of the stuff that he's done, he's not gonna see the stuff that you done before, but you did it. So, you did it. So, it's out there. You're not gonna go away from that for a while. So you gotta deal with it. But let's go on.
Bigger man apologize. Obviously, I make fun of Sam Bankman-Fried's hair. I make fun of your glasses. Like I tend to focus on things that really don't matter. But really, what that is just me trying to manifest the way I'm feeling about you, and that's the way that it comes off. And to me, it was a very elitist thing to say that I don't know what I'm talking about when, number one, you don't watch my channel and you haven't listened to the things that I've said. We actually already have a bill drafted in California that's sitting there in front of the Assembly, which is the Financial Stability and the Financial Education and Stability Act of 2022, SJR 16 on the California docket. I've got Senator Mitch Herzberg, who is the head of the Assembly in California. He's coming on my channel soon. Met with his chief of staff, gave input on the blockchain bill that they did for vital records in California. Guess what? It got approved. I'm not the reason it got approved, obviously, but we had input on that bill. We looked over it in early stages. So I think people really dismiss the level of involvement that I have in crypto. Now, here's what I want to say. I really wish...
I'm not sure if he was supposed to say that, but he said it. I hope he doesn't get in trouble for that. I think he was talking, and he just talked, and he said it, but I'm not sure if he was supposed to say that senator's name. I think that was a mistake. But anyways...
Basically, I know you guys didn't intentionally not read that email. You didn't realize it was sitting there. We talked before we went on air. But that email tells you a lot of the players we're working with. It tells you, exactly what we're doing. And I think when you understand what we're doing, it makes sense. Because I don't want to be in charge of crypto regulation. I don't want to try to determine what is a good transaction and what's not. What we're working on is a mechanism that a lot of people have called for years in crypto to be able to make those decisions on crypto regulation. I would not be the person making those decisions. Some of those people that you mentioned in that tweet, they could be involved potentially in the future in making some of those decisions. And I wish I could be a little more clear about exactly what all that means, but unfortunately, until we have the funding for the bill and it's registered, then we technically can't give the details away of the specifics. But it's taking...
So he pulled back, because I think before the stuff that he said, I don't know if he was supposed to say that, but anyway.
Away the ability from one man to be able to come in and influence crypto in terms...
That's important, so I'm going to go back a little bit. He's saying it's taking the ability of one man like Sam Bankman-Fried or Sam Bankman-Greed, which is hilarious. But let's go back, because that little part was important.
And I think when you understand what we're doing, it makes sense. Because I don't want to be in charge of crypto regulation. I don't want to try to determine what is a good transaction and what's not. What we're working on is a mechanism that a lot of people have called for years in crypto to be able to make those decisions on crypto regulation. I would not be the person making those decisions. Some of those people that you mentioned in that tweet, they could be involved potentially in the future in making some of those decisions. And I wish I could be a little more clear about exactly what all that means, but unfortunately, until we have the funding for the bill and it's registered, then we technically can't give the details away of the specifics. But it's taking away the ability from one man to be able to come in and influence crypto in terms of what SBF has done, and it puts it in the hands where people in crypto actually have a seat at the table. And I think once you look over what we put together, I think you'll be like, oh yeah, that makes complete sense. And I doubt that anybody in crypto, Eric Voorhees, who was on your show a couple weeks ago, or last week, I doubt any of these people will be against what we're doing. What we're doing circumvents all the language, actually, in the DCAP. Is it DCCAP or DCCAP?
DCCAP, yeah.
DCCAP, right? It goes around all that language.
CCPA, I think, yeah.
Yeah. DPC, YMCA. So the whole thing is it's a mechanism, and it's common sense. Like, we like doing things that are common sense for people, and people would say, like, why in the world? These people came to me, by the way. Why would these people come to me? Because I have the biggest voice in crypto. Like, I have the biggest platform in crypto by far. In the middle of the bear market, between TikTok and YouTube, and we had almost 10,000 people watching our stream today. We have almost 10,000 people around the internet watching our streams every single day. Your Eric Voorhees versus SBF debate, which was the thing in crypto I enjoyed watching more than I've ever watched another thing, it got like 1,000 viewers. Like, I wish they got more. It should have gotten more, is what I'm saying. But the point is, I've got a big voice, and we're able to circumvent marketing costs on builds because I'm able to go out and speak on behalf of crypto. So,
like, yeah, there's still a hubris part. There's still a pride part that comes up. Like, and then he says, okay, my thing got 10,000, yours got 1,000. I mean, should have got more. Like, because Ryan was about to talk about it, but it's like, it should have got more was what I'm saying. But the way it was said came out prideful. He's like, they came to me. Like, even the way he said that, it comes out prideful. I don't know. Like, a lot of the things that he says, like, comes out prideful. And I know. And that's the part sometimes of people, of Bitboy, that rubs people the wrong way. And if he would phrase it differently, it would be great. But it seems like, though, at least, I will give Bitboy this. It seems like he does take on a responsibility in which he wants to set things up so things are better for people in crypto. It seems like that's what he wants. But when people see the pride, when people see the rants and stuff, people would be hesitant to actually want that type of person to be their representative in a bill or something like that. Yeah. I want to get to the part where he talks about there's a battle going on between Binance and Sam Bankman-Fried, because that's real good information. I think that's coming up soon.
That's why I got triggered, and that's what we're doing in a nutshell. You guys can read more about it later. But I don't want to make decisions. It's creating a mechanism that also, by the way, I think everybody would be on board with this. Who right now is in charge of crypto? Everybody knows. It's the SEC. That changes under my amendment.
So this is the thing, right? This is the thing that we're kind of like, we have to respond to, is sort of like the crypto ethos of not trust, but verify. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know anything about the bill that you're saying. There's an email waiting for me, and I'm happy to like look at that and investigate, right? But your approach was not that. Your approach was not like, hey, here's the Bitboy bill. Let me reveal it. Let me go over kind of like a rationed, reasoned sort of reply, an Eric Voorhees style of reply to SBF. It was just like kind of this big like rant, kind of accusing. I think that you'd probably say, based on this tweet anyway, Bitboy, that like, from what you say, we're probably on the same side.
I think we are.
Okay, so we both think that Sam's proposals sucks. And like, you've got one approach, one way of doing things. Bankless has another. We were able to bring both Voorhees and SBF on the show to have a productive conversation. It wouldn't have worked if we started the conversation rather than rationally replying with something like this.
Okay, we're going to go through the whole thing, and we're going to get to the beef with Sam Bankman-Fried, because that seems to be very important, because that really opens a doorway into what's happening behind the scenes with crypto. But I'm gonna let him finish out this part, because this might be important to it too. Ethical platforms.
Making fun of Sam's hair, where I saw on your Twitter stream like Sam with like devil horns and like a goatee patch.
I just retweeted it,
Look, okay, so you're doing a different approach here, and yet like, you're saying we're on kind of the same side from a values perspective. Right. You have to respect the approach that Bankless is taking this. It's different. And my ask to you, Bitboy, is like, I'm not just going to trust you. Okay, so like, one thing that we can't do in crypto is, to the best of our ability, if we have any kind of platform, and your platform is bigger than ours on YouTube, for certain, but if we have any kind of platform, we have to help people. There are predators in this space, tons of them. And so we have to do a better job sniffing out the predators and the scammers and those that would take retail's money and giving them access to get information. And if you just play these games of kind of like, attention for the algorithm, and you don't open source what you're talking about, you don't like come back with reasoned arguments, it's just not going to be as effective. But like, let me ask you a question. So what were your thoughts on the SBF and Voorhees conversation. So you say you watched that stream. Yeah, what did you think of it? Like, who won the debate? Where were the good where were the good points made?
Yeah.
And overall, what were your takeaways?
Well, before I get into that, I do have to, because I definitely want to give my thoughts on that. I do want to just, like, the thing about that tweet, like, the same thing you're saying to me, like, you could have left out that first part about Bitboy. You could have just said, hey, these are the people we want to have in. You didn't have to call me out specifically. I guess that's...
But I'm not sure, like, so I'm actually not sure you're one of the good guys. Like, I don't know you enough. Like, I don't. Like,
I understand why people...
But you can't just say that. You have to,
Yeah,
like, you have to show it, right? And by you just engaging in the way that you've been engaging, it just doesn't show me that. It just looks like it's a crypto influencer looking for more attention. That's what it looks like to me. If you had been like, here's GitHub, and here's kind of an open source like document of all of my propositions. Here are the senators we're working. If it was like that kind of reply, you would have gotten a different response from me. My only thing was like, let's focus on the people doing the actual work. Yeah. Sorry, I'm gonna let you finish.
It's hard in the bear market to get people to fund things. So that's really where our struggle is. And we've had several people that committed to funding and then ghosted us, and you got to wonder why that is. But so here's what I have to say about SBF before we get into the debate, which is you have to understand what happened. I've been whistleblowing on this federal bit license for 6 weeks now. For 6 weeks. And the thing that triggered that entire conversation on Twitter after he posted that was I just responded to him, I said, get ready, bud. And he responded back, oh, you're shilling Binance or whatever. But he didn't say Binance because he was scared to actually have CZ involved. There's a deep civil war going on in crypto between CZ and SBF. People don't know. That's why CZ had been investing in Twitter such a big deal because SBF was told no. So, but what happened is I have a person who helps us.
So that's very important. That's very important. So he says there's a war going on between CZ, CEO of Binance, and SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried, CEO of FTX. One could say that's also a war between the U.S. and I think CZ may be like China, or not China. Well, Binance is everywhere, but it's the war against, it seems like to me, a war against the U.S. and like Euro crypto interests. CZ would probably represent Euro crypto interests. There's a little bit of maybe Russian crypto interests, because you got the WEF, and the WEF I think is more representative of what Sam Bankman-Fried is probably doing, even though WEF is more European based. I think CZ would probably be more the Euro people's champ of crypto, and Sam Bankman-Fried would be like the US kind of World Economic Forum type. This is my speculation. Don't go taking this and running with it. This is my speculation that this might be U.S. versus people's champ of Europe and crypto regulation. That's really important that he said CZ was able to get in on Twitter, but Sam Bankman-Fried was said no to. Interesting. Because if I were to lump Elon in any camp, I would probably lump Elon into the World Economic Forum camp. But seems to me maybe he's not. Maybe he's not. Because he said okay to CZ and he said no to Sam Bankman-Fried. Very, very interesting. Let's go back a little bit.
And he responded back, oh, you're shilling Binance or whatever. But he didn't say Binance because he was scared to actually have CZ involved. There's a deep civil war going on in crypto between CZ and SBF. People don't know. That's why CZ had been investing in Twitter such a big deal because SBF was told no. So, but what happened is I have a person who helps us raise money. He reached out to SBF and Tim Harrison from FTX US and sent them our bill and our proposal and said, hey, we're looking for funding. We think this might be something you'd like to take a look at. They said, yeah, sure. So FTX took the bill. They moved it over to their policy team. Now, in the world of politics, the way a policy team works is they move very quickly. They don't work very slowly because it's always a race to try to get things out. So they sat on our bill for like 3 weeks without telling us if they were going to fund it or not, no input. One of our top politicians who's involved in this called the policy head at FTX US, or I don't know if it's FTX or FTX US, I think US, and basically called him. And this is the type of person, when this person calls you, answer the phone. And so this person talked to the politician and said that, okay, so here's the deal. We're actually not going to be funding this bill because we're working on our own legislation. We have Chuck Schumer behind it, and we are attempting to create a federal bit license. And because of this, we've been having a problem with your side of the aisle. We would like for you to leave Bitboy's team and come over and work for us. He literally tried to steal one of our top people out from under us. Meanwhile, they sat on our bill for 3 weeks to sabotage us, to slow us down. And so it's been very personal. So you can go back and look. Nobody else was saying this about SBF because I'm the only person.
That's eye-opening. That part is really eye-opening to see why Bitboy got so hot. It makes a little bit more sense now. Because Ryan Adams was like, look, Bitboy doesn't represent us. So Bitboy, with all the angst and all the anger he already had for Sam Bankman-Fried brewing, because he tried to steal one of his lead politician boys out from under him, and he sat on his bill for 3 weeks when he said these policy teams, they move really fast because policies, they need to happen. So all of that angst for sitting on my bill, trying to steal my boy, all of that came out, just boom. Without him checking to see first, okay, is Ryan S. Adams in league or in cahoots with Sam Bankman-Fried? No, he's not, but damn it, I represent the people. So that makes a lot of sense of why he really exploded and didn't do any checking about it. But as he just noted, or he's noted earlier in this interview, he gets hot. That's his personality, and that's cool. But Sammy Bankman-Fried is paying dirty. If he tried to just take Bitboy's guy right out from under him like that, that's some dirty pool right there. So let's go back just a couple seconds, and then after this, I think we'll come out and see if there's anybody in the crowd or not. If not, thank you guys for checking out this video on recording. I really appreciate it. Watching the replay, I definitely appreciate it. But let's keep going here.
Side of the aisle, we would like for you to leave Bitboy's team and come over and work for us. He literally tried to steal one of our top people out from under us. Meanwhile, they sat on our bill for 3 weeks to sabotage us, to slow us down. And so it's been very personal. So you can go back and look. Nobody else was saying this about SBF because I'm the only person who had that information. For 6 weeks, I've been telling you he's going to push federal bit license. About 4 weeks ago, I finally came out with the term federal bit license. I outed Chuck Schumer. I outed SBF. Outed Tim Harrison. So I explained what they're trying to do. The next day, Brett Harrison steps down from FTX US, who was the person that this all ended up going through. The next day, Brett Harrison follows me on Twitter. So you know they're watching. And so it's personal between me and SBF. And if you look at SBF's track record, this is what he's done consistently. Consistently, he has crushed competition in pursuit of his own endeavors, trying to rule the space. But what happened is when we came out with a video that very distinctly...
And remember, shout out to Crypto and Down. Sam Bankman-Fried's daddy is heavily involved in like U.S. tax law. So Sam Bankman-Fried is the suits. You know what I mean? He is the elitist, like literally. So it's very interesting to see Sam Bankman-Fried and then CZ on one side in a civil war against crypto. It makes you wonder, okay, who are the people behind CZ? Who are those people? Are they also elitists? Are they also suits? Or are they the people? Or is it just two different suits fighting over crypto? Is it two different suits? Sam Bankman-Fried and CZ fighting over crypto? Who knows? Or is it? We know Sam Bankman-Fried is elitist. We know he's the elitist. We just know that. There's a question on whether Bitboy is for the people or not. There is a question there, Bitboy. We really don't know. We don't know your bill, so we really don't know. but it seems like that's the mantle you want to take on, and we will trust you on what you're saying with that, but we will verify it as soon as we get the information on your bill, right? So it's very interesting. This is very interesting. I'm really wondering who are the people then behind CZ, because you know that the SEC has been attacking Binance like out the wazoo. They're accusing them of working with Russian. It's always Russia, right? That they accuse somebody of doing, right? It's always Russia. So they accused him of working with a Russian like black dark website and all of this other stuff. So it's pretty interesting. Is CZ working with Russia or China, or what's going on there? Is CZ for the people, or is he just for the elitist suits in Russia and China? Interesting to know. I don't know that answer, but hey, if you know the answer, let me know. Leave a comment right in the description there. Maybe we can have you on and you can tell us who CZ represents. Is CZ like for the people? Because I know I've heard a lot of people. I think Zay and King have only said really good things about CZ. But I honestly don't know. So let's just hear him play this out, and we'll see what's up.
He articulated what he's trying to do. What happened is he softened the language. So if you go look at his tweets, he very specifically says in those tweets about what they're doing, which, by the way, the manifesto on the website, a little bit harsher language, a little more detail. But on the tweet thread, he said, now just to be clear here, we're not coming after decentralization. We're not coming after DeFi. We're not coming after peer-to-peer transactions. Well, what are the two things that I said he was trying to destroy for 4 weeks before this came out? DeFi and peer-to-peer transactions. So he literally comes out specifically with those terms to try to make it seem like, what we're doing is favorable for these things. Like, look at us. We're so great. We care about crypto. And he doesn't at all. I know people that know him personally. He's not a crypto guy. He's a finance bro. If you look at what Alameda Research did to make all their money with Kimchi Premium and all kinds of other stuff, they had to rebrand, and he had to leave, even though he owns 9% of the company, because they have such a bad reputation. FTX it's getting the same reputation. So what I thought was really interesting is he came out specifically trying to talk about those two things, because obviously if you get a license, a decentralized exchange can't get a license. Peer-to-peer, the bit license, put this in perspective for people, it costs an average of $100,000 to be able to get one. And in addition to that, you also have to have a certain amount of cash on hand as a broker to be able to meet their qualifications. So you're looking at almost $500,000. It's not like the normal person is going to be able to go out and get one of these, especially decentralized exchanges are going to be able to. So
basically what he's saying is what Sam Bankman-Fried is proposing would kill crypto here in the U.S. because if you're just this coder that just knows how to make DeFi coding things and want to start a platform and all of this, you can't do it, because then you would have to pony up like $500,000 to like $1 million to get this freaking license. Let alone, that's just for the license. That's not talking about, okay, paying your coders, testing and auditing your system, doing community outreach, marketing, all of this. That would just effectively kill it in the U.S. And only people that had tons and tons of money would be able to start crypto projects. So good for him for pointing this out, and good for him for getting on Sam Bankman-Fried's tail about this. All right, good for Bitboy for pointing that out, being the first to say that. Good for him. Like, hey, let's point this out, and let's give Bitboy this one. I'll give him, I'm not gonna say what other people should do. I'll give him this one. I'll give it. I give him this one. He gets this one. So yeah.
What I thought was so interesting in the debate between Eric and SBF on your channel was that actually he's finally started sprinkling out the idea of licensure, of licensing. And if you go back and you look at actually what happened with Tornado Cash, I think he's behind that too. The rest of the developer.
So Tornado Cash was this project that sprung out of nowhere and got a lot of traction because it was a loaning and cash alternative. And they shut that down hard. Like, find some videos on Tornado Cash. I'm sure it's out there. But the regulators, the powers that be, shut that down hardcore. So these are the things that he's talking about, and we want crypto to be for the people. We want it. We want people to be able to use DeFi, get cheap loans, and not have this whole usury and like paying these ridiculous interest rates. We want that to happen, so that people don't have to deal with these ridiculous interest rates and the rich just getting richer. We want it in the hands of the people. So kudos to Bitboy for that. But yeah, that's what Tornado Cash is. Do a little research on that if you want.
I think he's behind that too. That's speculation. But if you look at the playbook for what got the bit license, you had 2014 February, Mt. Gox gets hacked. July 2014, the bit license gets voted in. The next year, it came into action, right? So all of a sudden, Tornado Cash thing happens kind of out of nowhere a few months ago, and then all of a sudden, what does SBF start doing? Sprinkling out these ideas of whitelisting and block listing, and if Bob sends money to Alice and Alice's address has been blocklisted, now because Bob sent money to her, his is as well. What if his scammer's address gets blacklisted, or blocklisted is the new terminology, and then someone gets scammed and sends money to that person, and now they can't reach the rest of their crypto that's left in because it's been blacklisted, you can't off-ramp it. So he started throwing all these ideas out about Tornado Cash that seemed very in sync with the timeline for him pushing this federal bit license. So Eric Voorhees I've never seen such a one-sided debate. I've never seen a debate that was so lopsided in anything in my entire life. All SBF did was ramble, not say anything, try to talk above people's heads, and try to rephrase what Eric said 48 times, and then Eric would come in with one or two sentences and would totally wreck SBF. He'd have to go right back into retreat. I'm shocked. I don't know if this guy has handlers. I'm shocked they let him do this against Eric Voorhees. I mean, my gosh.
Actually, I give him credit for doing it because he did have this conversation out in the open. But yeah, you know what's interesting, Bitboy, is like I did not expect this kind of a conversation coming into this because I was familiar with kind of your rant and some other things, and like you are presenting some rational arguments. A lot of things that like Bankless would completely agree with you on. We have always been very wary of like the greatest threat to this entire crypto movement is that the crypto bankers come in and start to make this the same system that we just left. It's like same old boss, new boss, same as the old boss.
Market 2.0.
Yeah, exactly. A new set of bankers, and we've always thought that a play could be for the crypto bankers of the world to come in and like completely sterilize DeFi, make it a AML KYC type thing. So what you find is like if you are familiar with Bankless content, you will find that like there's a common allyship there around all of this. Now your approach is very different.
Approach is insanely different, yeah.
Like insanely different, and like. But as far as kind of what you're saying, what you're articulating, some of your end goals of like protecting DeFi and making sure that this is a sovereign financial system, that more people are able to go bankless, like I think we're completely united in these goals, which is also why it's like, if you were for these goals, why are you attacking Bankless and the Bankless movement? That was another thing that I didn't really understand about this, but maybe what you're saying is it was just in response to my original tweet 100%. That kind of like tweaked you out. You didn't do too much more due diligence on that.
Yeah, but I think also the thing is like I said, it was number one, Bitboy doesn't, it shouldn't have the platform to be able to do this. And
So I love it what Ryan S. Adams said there. Like, we don't want this to be Banks 2.0, where you coming into crypto and now you got to pay all these fees, you got to pay all this, and it slowly but surely seems like that. I follow a lot of the World Economic Forum tokens, and it seems like what they're trying to do is just put all the infrastructure in place that they can just like pick up Swift and then boom, CBDCs are already there. They're already connected to the central banks. They're already programmed, and total control is theirs. That's what it seems like. Now, if you put in the whole crypto regulation on top of that, then not only are CBDCs there, so there's complete programmable control over money, there's also crypto projects in DeFi that make loans just as impossible and just as like ridiculous as they've been before with bankers currently. Um, yeah, so very, very astute points there, and that's not where we want to see crypto headed. But understand too, that's why I say there's such an opportunity that everyone has right now in this crypto bear market, in this crypto winter, to accumulate all the great crypto that you can, because they're trying to rip it out of our hands, guys. They're trying to make it very hard for us. They're trying to do this whole KYC, like accredited investor, like price out of the normal person. They're trying to price us out of it. Let alone right now what people are dealing with inflation and rising costs on energy. Let me not even get into all of that. That's like a whole Rockfin conversation right there. But they're trying to price us out of it. So like I definitely agree with King and Zay with the whole Bitcoin view. Like, man, like it's coming up where it's looking like people that own a whole Bitcoin are going to be I consider to be the wealthiest people, right? But then if you're a normal person and you want to get a whole Bitcoin, then maybe you want to make some trades with some altcoins so you can get there, right? Maybe you want to make some trades with altcoins and get little like runs and rips on altcoins so you get to that whole Bitcoin, right? So, that's what my channel's about, actually. That's what we're about over here. We preach the altcoins and we preach the different altcoins because we do want to get to that one Bitcoin. We want to get there, right? So, and it just so happens that with the altcoins, you get rips, bigger rips, and better trades. And King and Zay say this actually too. They do say this. You do get better trades with the altcoins, but long term, what's going to be the best long term? Probably Bitcoin. Probably Bitcoin. Yes. So also, Ryan S. Adams, like, dude, you made great points, like very astute arguments. Didn't know that you were this adept, this smart, this knowledgeable about crypto. Didn't know that you were on a Bankless, like that you had some of the same views that we here at Bankless agree with, which is Sam Bankman-Fried's out for greed. He looks like he's trying to just take the whole crypto game for himself. But really, it's like Bitboy says, I don't know if this guy has handlers. So Sam Bankman-Fried is just a face. He's a front man. Just like a whole bunch of the other things that we see in America, God. He is a front man. I need to make another episode on Rockfin about that. But definitely check out my Rockfin where I went over the whole Lex and Ye conversation. A lot of people that we think are like really big people are really doing something, really leading something. They're front men. They're front men. We don't even know who the leader is. We have no idea. But we're propped up with these front men. But anyways, regardless of the fact that the Sam Bankman-Fried may be a front man, the whole point is to not let us plebes, us regular people, have a part in crypto. So right now we really have a big opportunity to save up as much crypto as we can. Now the question would be too here, these bills, knowing about these bills, being able to vote on these bills, and who's to say, like, with all the stuff that they do with voting, if you do vote on the bill and that they don't change the vote, but that's an entirely different question. But also, it seems like we're going to have to be knowledgeable about stuff like this so we can go out there and cast our vote, make it heard, and make sure that crypto stays in the hands of the people. So I think that's all I wanted to say. It seems like I'm gonna go check. Don't go away though. I'm gonna go check and see if anyone's out there. If not, thank you guys for watching the recording. But definitely go over to Bankless channel and check out this entire interview because they get into some more stuff here. So yeah, this is on Bankless. What is that? Bankless shows. So definitely go check that out. Let me see if we got anybody in the live. Okay, we got a couple. Oh, what's up, HBCU Maker? What's up, Will Marr? Oh, y'all been having a nice little conversation in here. What's up, Audiqua Gaming? Again, Bitboy is too freaking emotional. No one is going to take him seriously. I agree. It's hurting his brand and eventually going to hurt his pockets. I agree, HBCU Maker. Very childish. Values, makes good points, but again, he is too emotional. Yeah. He really is. So, yeah, y'all. Thank you guys for making it out to the live stream, though. I really appreciate it. Hey, what's up, toThe with Bitcoin? He's the self-declared supreme leader of the XRP army. You know what, too? That whole XRP army thing. XRP's in with the World Economic Forum, and that's one point that Ryan mentions later. It's like, how are you saying that you're of the people of crypto, and you're up here talking about XRP? XRP is as corporate as, all of them, right? Yeah, man. Yeah. Peace, hodl. Never sell, especially at $1. Not trying to hijack your spot, but there are other people with more and better knowledge. Facts, Wilmer. No promotion, strictly ISO assets. He doesn't take money for his channel. Forget about this clown, BB. Oh, I read it out of order. My bad, brother. Forget about this clown, BB. T is for the people. All people. Who is TEE? Who is T? You're gonna have to tell me that in the comment, Wilmer. Who is T? All people. I feel you, bro. I love Bitboy, but he needs a little therapy. Anybody that uses hate 5 times a week is not a very genuine person. I'm not gonna say how genuine he is, but his pride comes off real. It tends to rub people the wrong way. And it's like, it's great that you grinded and you got your channel up that high. It's really good. And you deserve that for the grind that you have. But a little bit of the pride, you gotta curtail that. You don't gotta do anything. You're a grown man. You can do whatever you want. But it might behoove you. It might be better for you. It might benefit you if you curtail the pride. Not trying to hide your spot there. Okay. I'm not sure who you were referring to, Will T or Wilmer. Let me know who T is. Or is T a coin? I'll have to check it out. I'm not sure what T is. Having fun getting crushed in crypto, losers. Adequa Gaming. I definitely encourage you to watch the channel. Crypto is low right now. That means it's a great time to buy. So I would encourage you to check out my channel. Check out some of the featured channels on my channel. And there's an opportunity for crypto. There's an opportunity here. And, if I encourage you for you to check out the channel Adequate Gaming. There are even things in gaming that are happening in crypto that might be of a great benefit. So you might want to check that out, Adequate Gaming. So thanks for watching, guys. I'm gonna get out here. We had a pretty long one, I think. How long did we go today? I don't know. Oh, okay, yeah, hour and 30 minutes. So pretty long one, but I think it was all necessary. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good one. Peace.